We're good to go? Fantastic. Well, everybody, welcome to our Beguiling Books webinar. Good afternoon to wherever you're hailing us from. Uh, I'll be speaking a little bit more about payroll and client management today. Thanks for those who are letting us know where you're hailing from. So thanks very much. We do want to send a quick thank you to our hosts, here today that is helping us host this webinar with the good old CPB organization, of course. But as my favorite actor, good old Matthew McConaughey, says, all right, all right, all right. Let's get started, shall we? My name is Dustin. I am the director of sales here at Payment Evolution. I've been in fintech and working with the accounting professional for over 15 years now. Weird. I say 15 years, doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it's good enough to develop a bit of a reputation and working alongside a lot of accounting professionals, such as yourselves, especially the ones with the CPB. Uh, we're excited to kind of talk a little bit about some of the key points that are going to be important for bookkeepers today. Uh, I also want to make sure that we say a little thank you beforehand to our team that's working behind the scenes, Gurdeep Singh, who will be answering some actual questions in the actual Q&A box in the Q&A chat. We also have our good friend Sam Calhoun and also Mr. Will Sharp, who will be helping us with answering some of those questions. So we want to thank them. If you have anything, I will not be answering them myself, but you'll be seeing them being answered by our team in the background. But anyways, thank you for joining. We're really appreciative of you spending the time here with us for the next hour, and we hope that you find the information valuable. So let's move forward. Uh, the main reason for today's webinar was really to kind of hone in on maybe some, four key points today. Number one is we know how important bookkeepers are for a client, but many times we don't realize it ourselves as accounting professionals or as bookkeeper. Sometimes we're so go, go, go that we forget to take care of ourselves. And because of that, you need to avoid this possible burnout that happens, when we're dealing so much and giving so much to our clients and to everyone else around us. And it's important that you realize that there's some benefits to you being at your best. Today, the trickle down benefits is the idea here is that if once you implement some of the tips that we have that we speak about today, we know your clients will benefit, we know your team will benefit, we know you'll benefit, and ultimately as well, we want to see you grow. So this is whether you're a staff member working at a firm or if you're running your own firm, we want to see you grow to a point where everybody benefits, including us here at Payment Evolution. One of our biggest missions here with our partner program is to help accounting professionals showcase their value and actually be able to be superstars in front of their clients. So anything that we can do to make you guys do that, that's really kind of where we are, and we want to help. So let's talk a little bit more about today's agenda. Here's today's agenda. We're going to talk, there's going to be four parts. The first part is going to be why are payroll and client management so important? Some of it you might say, oh, well, it's obvious. Well, it's not so obvious for a lot of our newcomers and new CPB members. It's actually tough sometimes to really articulate your value to people. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk today also in part two, how to stay on top and manage your time better. And in part three, we'll talk a little bit more about how do you turn your time into more clients. And then we'll finish off the webinar today with a quick demo on on time saving tools. So I think it's going to be really important, especially for those who want to get focused on or benefit from the CPD credits today, that you join us on the poll. We're going to ask everybody to take a couple seconds here to kind of explain. If you can go to the Vvox app and then enter the session ID that you see on the screen, or easily, if you're a bit of a tech wizard, you just want to scan the QR code, you'll be able to join us on those polls so that we can actually see what's going on and you can be interactive and of course have those CPD credits available for you at the end of the webinar. So I'll give you a moment to spend some time either putting it into your phone or your device or your actual computer, or if you want to scan the QR code with your phone, you might be able to do that too. That's what I like to do. It makes it really, really easy. All right. So without further ado, shall we move forward? Yeah? Okay, cool. This is the first poll, so we can see how many people have joined in already on the poll. How important do you consider the following? 1, payroll as a part of your practice. client management as a part of your practice, or stress management as and personal time. Give you some moments here to be able to get into the VVox app and be able to put in your session ID and answer that poll, and then we'll move it forward. All right, we're going to move it forward, everybody. Let's see if we can show some results here. How important do you consider the following? Well, it seems like the thing that people really care about here is everything seems to be kind of on par. Client management is taking it right now, as well as stress management and personal time, followed by payroll is very important for them as well. That's awesome to hear. All right, so let's move forward, shall we? And again, for those joining us kind of at the beginning here, if you'd like to join us on the VVox app, and put in your session ID, you'll be able to join us with those polling questions so you can get your CPD credits. All right, let's move forward. So part one, why is payroll and client management so important? Well, as you can see from based on the polls, two things can really be derived from that. Number one is a client can have a more complete solution if you provide payroll as a part of the solutions to them. And also, you can actually, we're going to show you here as well why client management, why stress management, and your own personal time is also important for you to be successful. And lastly, we're also going to show you why payroll can be really important if you are not using it in your practice. So let's talk a little bit more about the importance of painless payroll. Well, as we all know, time is money, and many times it's being lost with regards to labor costs for payroll. One of the things that people are not aware of, we were doing some research here, and we found out that 85% of small businesses, well, businesses in general, but the majority of businesses, 96% of businesses here in Canada are the SMB, right? 0 to 10 employee businesses. They really struggle with payroll technologies. It's not their trade, clearly. And one of the things that they're really worried about as well is making an error, seeming like they're inadequate, not knowing their information. And because of that, many times, on average, about $291 worth of costs, are attributed to labor costs when it comes to a payroll error. So this is really important. They don't like spending a lot of money on a lot of things because they're trying to make their business survive. But ultimately, they're still paying quite a bit of money per error. And this is something that could be avoided. And of course, smoother payroll equals higher employer satisfaction or employee satisfaction. We all know that the average client that we deal with has employees that they're taking care of. And if those employees have a great experience, many times you're going to have a great experience with your own client. And there's not going to be a lot of issues. So there's a larger opportunity to be had here with the right clients, and such a large number of them struggle with payroll technology. So we encourage you to start thinking about, hey, is this something that I do? Do I have only one tech option in our stack that we can leverage? What about all the other clients that maybe not, the specific tool is not going to be helpful for, or they don't like? Are you a jack of all trades? Are you specifically looking at only one option? These are questions you got to ask yourself to help bring down that pain threshold when it comes to payroll or other products to your clients. Ernst& Young tried to put a number behind the cost of each payroll error in about 2022. And here's what they found. We'll share the entire list with everybody, but fortunately, these are the top three, and they actually are pretty avoidable. Number one is sick time not being entered. And they said that it's about $705 for that error to happen. So that's time, people forgetting, the miscommunication, time spent on it all from start to finish, and number two was the employee not being entered into the payroll system in a timely manner, which attributes to an average cost of about $635 per time, per instant. And then the last one is, of course, the visa status update. So that was almost like $615. So respectively speaking, that's quite a bit of money if you make all three errors or your client makes all three errors all at once. That visa update specifically about, changing an employee's work status, right? This is stuff that if we are not on our game, it becomes quite difficult for us well, especially for our clients, to be able to manage really, really simply. And we have that capability of helping them out. So why wouldn't we, right? Some of the common payroll and client management challenges are quite simple here. The truth is that incorrect payroll in general can be very expensive, no matter how small the issue is. And this kind of payroll leakage is really unintended or unexpected. And about $1.2 billion in lost revenue related to the labor activity of payroll, this payroll mistakes and leaking those funds from there, it's a big amount of money, right? And the ranges here it's saying is about 1.2 to $5 billion lost to payroll leakage annually. And about 0.5% to about 2.5% of the total payroll is leaked. So manual errors and compliance issues, this is an important thing for your clients as much as it is for you, and if not more so for your clients. And managing multiple client accounts, it can be tough, right? So imagine entrepreneurs who have multiple businesses that they're running. They know the value of a bookkeeper. They know the value of an accounting professional. And if they are only running their first, or this is their first business that they're running, or they've been running it for a while, but they're really small, many times, they want to be seen as somebody that matters, that their business matters, right? So we want to make sure that you as accounting professionals are helping them out, especially with these client management problems that these businesses are dealing with. Uh, all of that being said, this is not to mention the time that it takes to deal with all these things for clients. We took a poll of our clients, and I'd like to share some comments around what they told us about what they actually want to focus on, which is not payroll. I'll tell you right now. The top four things that they mentioned was that one, they want to focus on their families. Two, they want to focus on building security for their futures. Number three, they want to focus on items that help them grow their business without making them feel that they're lost or inadequate. And number four, they want to focus on the people around them that make them feel that they're being assisted and not being taken advantage of. They want actually, for the most part, the entrepreneur being the literal backbone of our economy is trying to help as many people as they can. The average entrepreneur is trying to get that help. And look, 40% of these SMB owners say that taxes and bookkeeping are the worst and the most consuming time or consuming part of owning a business. And there's a big value here of how you guys can provide some of that service for them. So payrolls can sometimes take away from those focuses that we talked about. How are you helping? How are you billing your client to help them with these efficiencies, to help yourself, to help them, and make sure everybody's mission is getting kind of, done and met? All right. It's time for a second poll question. The poll question is, what percentage of Canadian small businesses do not employ an accounting professional? All right. Again, for those who joined us a little bit late, you can join us at the VVox app. At the top of my screen, you'll see you can join VVox app and you can put in your session ID. And that session ID will allow you to be able to have access to this poll so you can answer the poll and get access to the CPD credits if you want to leverage them in this webinar. So we'll give it a little bit of a moment. We want to make sure that you get a chance to actually go in there and get it done. And I'll be getting a quick thumbs up from my team behind the scenes here, letting me know when I should move forward. All right, let's move forward, shall we? Okay, let's see. What's the results slide? Let's see if can we see the results? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So, I think I skipped the results. I mean, oh no, there it is. Okay, but we're going to move forward just in case so that we don't, move in a snail's pace here. I think the truth is very simple. The average business doesn't have an accountant or a bookkeeper. Nearly 45% of all businesses don't have a bookkeeper. And that doesn't even include the ones that tell you something like this, well, I have a bookkeeper, I have a bookkeeper. I see them once a year. So if you have clients that you see once a year, I'm not sure if you can consider them, return clients all the time. I'm sure you have some of them that are. But I think it's pretty in any business, especially here in the SaaS-based business, especially in fintech, you can expect that if you're not really getting usage out of the services that you provide, about between a range between 15 and 30% of clients will churn. And to be honest, would you feel confident and secure if a client would return if you only saw them once a year? Especially if they're looking at, not being articulated the value that you bring to them. So it's really important that we try to see that there is such an opportunity here for bookkeepers, accounting professionals, CPAs, all across the board to really help small businesses. As we go down that list even further, only 25% only have an accountant. Separate accountants or bookkeepers, only 15% of all businesses. And then a combination of the both, 11%. And how many of them only have a bookkeeper? 4%. So these numbers are pretty staggering, right? They're kind of like, oh wow. Uh, if this is the case, there's a lot more opportunity than what we think, right? There's a lot more opportunity than just the clients that are coming to you trying to haggle you for a specific price point of your services. You can find clients out there that are really in need that you can provide so much value for. And ultimately, who bears the burden of all of this? Now, you would say the accounting professional. I would agree with you. But the accounting professional, believe it or not, you guys have the knowledge. And so the burden is there's actions that you can do. So your client actually, you would think that maybe your client bears the burden. And the truth is, no, your client doesn't necessarily bear the burden directly. It's your client's employees that actually will carry the burden, right? Like if money movement is not timely, these employees are going to suffer. And ultimately, we as accounting professionals, we can prevent so much suffering when it comes to helping these clients out. As you can see on the screen, 72% of Canadian employees would experience financial difficulty if their paycheck was delayed by a week. And then 47% of these Canadians live paycheck to paycheck. 88% of the workers in Canada get paid by direct deposit. So who has the skill set to prevent these mishaps? Definitely you do. I know. I know. I have the ability to do it from time to time as a payroll vendor to help provide some assistance. But ultimately, we look at the trusted advisors of the world of the SMB, and that's bookkeepers and accounting professionals, accountants, everybody who's trying to help support the businesses of these clients that we deal with, and your clients too. All right, let's move forward and shift gears to part two. How do we stay on top of all of this and reclaim your time? And so think about this as a firm leader, as an associate, as a staff, or a client, we need to delegate, be more effective, and have a great client experience to make sure that you can actually reclaim some of that time back. And one of the ways that you can do that is by choosing the correct payroll software. So financial rule sets, legislations, and options are always changing. Take, for instance, the latest tax credit and benefit from the CRA about that. I think it was like the Canada dental benefit. The interim benefit was intended to help lower additional dental costs for eligible families earning less than 90K a year. And the application required information that the employer had access, from the employees. We found this information to be outside of the realm of what an employer has the right to know. And the cryptic initial release of this program had us waiting on the phone for weeks. This is the type of work that you should have a vendor like us or a company do for you. Nobody wants to be talking to the CRA all the time for weeks, to come to a conclusion on how the benefit's going to be applied. Your stack, your tech stack should be able to be updated alongside you because I know that you're going to read that information for yourself to help your clients. We should too. So the finance options and legislations are always changing. We're choosing software. You should be choosing a software that guarantees compliance. And on top of that, you should take advantage of the cloud-based softwares that are out there. I know. There's a lot of desktop users out there, and that's great. Just it's a sign of the times. Cloud technology came out nearly 12, almost 20 years ago. And until now, we're hearing even companies like Intuit saying things like, oh, QuickBooks Desktop is going to start to have its end of life, and maybe they're having it as on its last legs. This is important for you guys to take a look at. Leverage those tools that have been out there for, again, almost 2 decades to be able to help you automate and help you choose the right tools and stack for you and your clients and your firm, of course, and your team. So one of the things you could also do is set up automated reminders for deadlines, right? So leveraging free resources that you can find in your communities or that your stack provides A biweekly payroll calendar for the year is a resources that we provide for all of our bookkeepers at the start of the year. You can import this into your Outlook or Google Calendar to ensure that the dates are always met. The truth is there's a tons of habits that we have that we can do, and there's other things we can make sure that we take care of, things like, again, those free resources that set up your year, ensuring deadlines are met with automated reminders for those critical dates, and maybe sync them with your calendars like I mentioned prior, virtual or physical. And of course, you want to reduce that stress, right? We want to avoid last minute rushes. We want to maintain a consistent workflow. We want to practice more efficient management. Listen, we all have habits here. And the truth is that we can all have them get better if we take a little bit of accountability in what we can do for our client. And what are some things that we can also do as well as, really use templates for repetitive tasks? The same can be said for working with your clients. If you're working with a niche client, for example, or a niche specific type of industry that you deal with, you can have templates set up for your late payment reminders for timely reconciliation, pricing and quote requests and blanket statements explaining that no, you can't pay your kids to do nothing to lower your taxes, right? So build out templates. Spend time to save a little bit of this time. Open outsourcing possibilities for yourself. Have the ability to be able to pivot and make quick modifications for yourself. We even have a tool that an ebook that we will share later on in this webinar about how you can navigate awkward conversations with clients, and using something as simple as have you given up on paying for this can get you a result really quickly to deal with your clients and getting better responses. All right, we're going to go to our third poll question so far. Here it is. How long is your year-end season? 2 months, a month to 2 months, 1 week to a month, or other? So I'll let you give some time. For those who are joining us a little bit later here, of course, you can join us at the Vvox app at the top left-hand side of my screen. You'll see the Vvox app URL. You can put that into your device and put in your user ID, or sorry, the session ID, not the user ID, and you'll be able to help us out with the poll here so you can leverage those CPD credits. Okay, cool. Let's go. What's the next slide here? I want to see the results. Oh, are we seeing the results here? Oh, here we go. We're saying it says here, sorry, it's not showing it on the screen. 33% of you voted that it's 2 months plus. 38% of you voted it was 38.1%. Sorry, 38.1% told you voted it was 1.2 months long. 9%, nearly, 9% of you voted it was a week to a month long, and others voted, about 18% of you voted for other. So really the big one that is kind of there is the longer than 2 months or 2 months plus. So this is crazy. This is nuts. I think a lot of times people don't really realize that from the outside world, from people that are not bookkeepers and accountants or accounting professionals, it looks like you guys are in year end for about 6 months out of the year. I mean, at one point, I stopped celebrating my birthday just to count the tax season to tell me how old I was getting. So one of the things that we can do here as well, if tax season, or not tax season, sorry, year end specifically, is is pretty long time for us in our business. It amasses to more than 1 or 2 months, maybe three, maybe a quarter of the year. Okay, if we're feeling pretty, lucky and conservative here, then what can we do to whittle down that year end, right? If properly set up, year-end tax season can be a time haven. With the right software, regular payroll check-ins to help to the health of your payroll and the well-being of your client, you should be able to book that March vacation next year, right? So this is really important, like T4 times is February. Sure, you can get them done. What's really funny when we take a look at kind of how people have used our application, we can only speak about Payment Evolution specifically. But when people use us for T4 time, the bulk of the usage happens in the last 5 days of February, when we can start doing T4s pretty early. This is kind of important. I think it's important for you to realize that I know that you're busy, but you can put yourself in a position to win right? That T4 tile that we have in our solution in Evolve by PayEvo, it automates the collection of necessary data and the generation of T4 slips, T4A slips. It ensures all T4s are compliant within the latest CRA regulations and reduces the year-end processing time from weeks to just a few days. I'll show you more on it a little bit later. But what can you do? We can put those repeated tasks in, right? We can have consistent deadlines. We can have software dependent, more software dependent. We can be more relationship dependent. What if your year-end season was only, a year-end week? Like, think about that. Like, what could you get things done? And we've seen a lot of people that have been on our Evolve platform, not to promote our tool, but people have been starting to use their tech stack and leverage them. We've seen so many bookkeepers and accountants actually go on those vacations around those times. We had a couple of clients of ours that they were talking about how they went to Italy for the first time in years because they had a solution that was helping them out. Of course, they had a solution that helped support their clients and their teams to be able to do that while they were away. Some people were mentioning that they went to Ireland. Some people were going to the Bahamas. People were in Jamaica. We heard this a ton from our clients, and we're hoping that you can do the same to leverage for yourself. Because wouldn't that be awesome that you get everything done pretty quick? You have your staff efficiently running like a smooth-oiled machine, and you're able to take that time. So one of the things that we love about the tech stack that you should be using is the ability to collaborate with your team. Right? You should really be able to collaborate with them through shared access, whether it be a team member using it as an additional user on our Evolve platform, or let's say, for example, you're leveraging them as a payroll manager or an additional user for their team, for your clients. Right? Consider the necessary workload that you have there. Transition themselves and yourself to grow and really help yourself with that improved efficiency and balance. Another thing that's going to be really important is maintaining accurate employee records, of course. So, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that in our solution, there's a great way that your employees, your staff, your firms can actually help them. Not only that, but avoid these payroll discrepancies with a simple tool. Like the ones that you see that are well known at vendors at your IPB as your CPB Ignite conference. It ensures timely payments and, of course, legal compliance. This is a big deal. A lot of times people don't realize the legal ramifications. People don't realize, you realize as accounting professionals, but your clients don't. They think, oh, I didn't even think of that. I didn't know that was an issue. Furthermore, a lot of times you're hearing this word come up quite a bit, this term of AI, artificial intelligence. And I'm not saying leverage chat GPT. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that there are tech tools that you will be using in your tech stack, like Payment Evolution for those who have it. For those who don't have it, give you an idea. There are AI tools that can help you save your time, right? And many times these things can help us with emails and meeting prep and spreadsheets and compliance. And everyone has a tool, but how many are built for bookkeepers? Right? Believe it or not, we have one. We'll show you something in the next little bit when I do a demo of the tool, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But AI is important. Okay? AI is not going to replace us as bookkeepers or accounting professionals in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it's going to bring the need out even more for us, and it's going to increase the standard and the expectation of what clients want from us. So we should learn to leverage it, and we should really expect you guys to be able to, change. The cost of changing should be, well worth it. The cost of not changing, that should be the things that we're fearful of. And lastly, streamlining invoicing for your firm. So efficient invoicing saves time and money. Efficient invoicing is crucial for bookkeepers because it minimizes the time spent on manual entry, reducing errors and ensuring accuracy. By streaming the invoicing process, bookkeepers can accelerate payment collection, lead to improved cash flow and financial stability for their clients. Efficient invoicing helps in managing cash flow better by providing clear visibility into outstanding invoices and payments received. So with us here at Payment Evolution, the Evolve invoicing feature that we got, really automates the invoicing process for you. Meaning, Evolve will send you your invoice. You'll be able to be able to take care of it pretty quickly and rebill it to your client. You have the choice of either the firm taking on the billing instead, if you want, or if you want to direct bill it to your client. There's an option there. But not only that, you'll be able to track all those payments and outstanding stuff. And with integrated payroll and accounting systems, it's going to be really helpful. So, does your tech stack integrate with other solutions that make it easier for you in your tech stack, right? So, reduce manual entry errors, accelerate payment collection, strengthen cash flow management. You need software that's going to help you to do those things, right? And you need it to be able to track payments and outstanding invoices like your Zero, your QuickBooks, your different accounting softwares out there, right? And it should be able to be integrated with your tech stack. What are some additional benefits maybe? Well, again, efficiencies for you and your clients. You look great in being efficient with you and your team. Professionalism against, how the optics of how your clients are seeing you and seeing your team. Better detailed reporting. And by implementing these efficient, practices and leveraging tools like Evolve's invoicing feature, bookkeepers can significantly save time and money, leading to more productive and profitable operations. So, we really encourage you guys to take a look at your tech stack. If you have something that is tried and true, great. But how can you become more efficient? That means you're going to need to be able to get really great at different tools, right? That's how you scale, knowing more knowledge and being able to implement more. So hopefully those tips can really help. Okay, let's shift gears here a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about in part three, recovering time and money for your clients. All right. So this is going to be pretty quick. We want to make sure that people get a chance to get all the information. I'm not sure if we have another poll coming up. Yes, we do. We do. I just saw the slide pop up. So we do have another poll coming up. So I encourage those who are joining us again to go to the VVox app and put your session ID before it happens so we can get you guys in the poll and get you your CPD credits. So again, let's talk a little bit more about here, part three. We talked about things like recovering your time and money from your clients. Some things that are really important with the tech stack that you need to be focusing on, not us necessarily, but for sure with the people that you're working with or the organizations and the vendors that you're working with. One is, are you able to have a level of service that is available for the employee since they're really getting the burden when things are not going well for payroll, right? Are there online paychecks that they can see to save these employees and the headaches that they're getting for not being able to see their information on time? It also there's a self-serve option here where you can save the employer's time as well because you're not necessarily dispersing these what's it called paycheck stubs, right, to everybody. And it really turns year end and tax season into year end minutes. We say tax season here because of course you have to be able to do a T4 or T4A, and that relates to tax. But being able to get all those T4s and T4As so that they can do their personal personal tax filing, then it really makes sense for us to be able to turn those, things that typically have been, maybe days or weeks worth, right, into minutes. So saving your client time and money comes back to your stack. As bookkeepers, you can find yourself responsible for recommending and implementing a stack that will be the easiest, quickest, and most affordable. So using payroll software that provides employee-centric features like the access to online paychecks and the employee portal that will save your client time, that trickle down everything will help the others in mind, keep the others in mind, right? Like it'll help with the overall great experience and cohesion. Let's talk a little bit more about simplifying benefits for benefits enrollment. So some people say, well, you know, uh, did you know that applications like us or others can provide I would call subsequent or secondary or tertiary benefits to people, and one of them literally is group benefits with us, for example. So similarly, why would you want to limit the scope of possibilities for your clients, right? So if you zoom out, it's important to look at what the company, at the company behind the software in your stack and its reputation. Consider the company's ecosystem of offerings rather than the specific product to avoid necessary fees and integrations when the native app can't handle it, right? So provide clear information and easy to access these benefits portals. 42% of workers said that being offered a more favorable benefits package would encourage them to stay in their jobs, right? We're in a situation now after the pandemic where, good help is really hard to find. It always has been, for the record, but it's really, what's the word that they've used? Exasperated, exacerbated, sorry, not exasperated, exacerbated, the situation. So we really encourage you guys to remember that there are other things that you can see with your tech stack that could be beneficial for your clients as well. And in this case, maybe benefits enrollment. Why? You guys don't talk about it very much, believe it or not, but your clients' employees need it. So if it's something to talk about, you could provide more value and more advisory, knowing as the trusted advisor that you are, helping them to see where they can get it, where they can get it done, all that type of stuff. Like we mentioned before, and embracing the cloud is a lot. I was actually having dinner with Sue Dombrowski, actually when this picture was being taken and she's a great member of your organization over at the CPB. She mentioned that she can do a lot more, a lot quicker, and she can do it from anywhere. And it could be a lot more flexible for her. So desktop software is I hate to say it, it's still out there, but it's a trend from the past. And modern businesses need to use cloud-based tech, that can leverage our available technology and opens opportunities. So take Sue Dombrowski for a second, a client of ours here at Payment Evolution for over 12 years. Her practice has grown because of the flexibility that cloud-based tech has provided her. She loves to work from her condo at the lake, or on her recent trip to England when we were talking to her, and where she said she ran 2 payrolls amidst her trip, something that she wouldn't be able to do if she was on some desktop software. And one of the other things that you could do here is really conduct regular payroll audits. Now, what I mean by this specifically is you get a chance to really see into your clients' information so you can help them further, right? So regular payroll audits should be in your calendar. I don't know how else to tell you. Like it should be something that you do, not just the cadence of how often you do their payroll. You should be auditing some of the stuff for them too, so that they can get the reporting that they need. And you guys know this. So how many times have you dealt with a client that was like incorrectly processing payroll all year, only to see their mistake at year end? Like it happens more than you think, you know. Give yourself the opportunity to catch those mistakes that happen, more often than you think. And for those who it doesn't happen to, great. I'm glad to hear it doesn't happen for you. But there's a lot of people out there that are probably not as efficient as you are, or don't have the knowledge, or are using an antiquated software or an antiquated solution. Maybe it's manual. You can catch that leakage quick by just regularly checking in. So identify and correct those errors promptly. You can do that with the proper tools. You can ensure compliance with regulations, right? You can, make sure that those regular audits improve payroll and its accuracy by, on average, of about, 30%. All right, we got an upcoming poll again. Here's, I think, our fourth poll question. What percentage of Canadians are paid by direct deposits? What can you guys put in? What you guys think? 100 to 80%? 80 to 60%, 60 to 40%, 40 to 20%, or 20%. Sure, if this is a trick question, we did say what we know what the percentage is, but we love to see what you guys think. So far, wow, we got quite a bit coming. Some people are saying the majority of people right now, about 54% of you are saying 80 to 60%. Hold on, we'll give you a couple more seconds for everybody to be able to mark in their poll and their vote, and we'll get started. All right. Well, it's telling us here that again, the majority of you think it's 54% of you think it is 80 to 60%. Believe it or not, the right answer is 88%. So it's between 80 and 100%, are paid by direct deposit. So, believe it or not, for those who are using checks still, or using e-transfers from their clients and their bosses, Uh, let's start using direct deposit. There's a lot of great things that you can leverage out of that, of course. So here we are. Oh, that's the results. I'd already gave it to you. But again, driving towards direct deposit, it's no secret that moving money in Canada is sluggish. Okay. That's why it's so important to utilize the best methods available to you guys. So, getting to your clients on direct deposit leads to more timely payments, reduced processing times, costs, of course, less costs, uh, consistent electronic records. One of the things that Patricia Carpenter, who's a client of ours here from Highland Bookkeeping, had mentioned is like, no one wants to do paper checks anymore. Now, I get it. I'm talking to a group of people, here that it's if it were up to you, you probably would want everybody on direct deposit, but your clients are not sure, if they want to leverage that, if it's secure enough for them. And I know that there's a lot of tools that you can use in the future and now, actually right now, that are vendors that are helping and are, going to be sponsoring at your CPB Ignite conference that are going to be there that can really help you guys out with processing those payrolls much quicker. Canada's behind on these financial innovations. It's unfortunate, but for the people to stay where they are right now when it comes to lagging behind and using paper checks or an e-transfer or something antiquated that isn't really helpful for scale, I think it's a lot more beneficial for you to be able to process it and be able to scale your client base as well if you do that. And it's helpful for your client because not only they, but their employees will be happy, and they need to use the fastest tech that's available to us at this point in time, right? We have so many tools that are at our fingertips. So your clients are your business. While there's a ton of things you could do differently, you and your client should have an understanding of what the ideal relationship between you two looks like. From there, you create the roadmap of getting to the relationship into the ideal state. We've talked about this before here at Payment Evolution. Last year, at the CPB Ignite conference, one of our talks was navigating awkward conversations. And we've now actually created an ebook, which I can send to you guys after the presentation. And if you are interested in it, let us know. You can just send us a quick, notification in the QA chat, and we'll make sure we flag you and we'll send you kind of this navigating awkward conversations. But for those who were there, I remember it being a packed house, and it was a great conversation where bookkeepers were talking about what they could do in growing their confidence, then having a better conversation, and what's the right way to deal with things, and how to position things to your clients so that they don't get sucked in with a less than ideal scenario. When you're ready to save time and money for your client with the right techniques that will help you to not get sucked into those time sinks, you'll get more wins and ideally more ideal clients as well. So again, growing your confidence and practice, ensuring trust and satisfaction, right? Taking quick resolve of issues and being proactive client support for your clients, and tailored solutions for your client needs. Healthy client communication is going to be crucial here, and this will allow you to. So let's dive into some of these topics a little bit more about scheduling regular check-ins with your clients. Healthy communication and knowing how to navigate any conversation that clients throw at you you know, can save you and your client time. Just as you're looking under the hood for regularly to audit maybe a payroll, or you also need to look at your client and politely kind of check in. Make sure you know the perspective your clients have of you and your relationship and work to guide it towards what's most beneficial for both parties. How can I save more time? And are we a good fit? Think about this. How can you save more time and how are we a good fit? Can we set expectations? And that might mean how often you're in contact with your client. We don't want to annoy our clients in any way, shape, or form, but we do want them to be in the know, right? So creating these, regular check-ins with these clients is going to be really crucial. And I know this might seem very rudimentary to many of you, but the truth is that this is something that a lot of people are unaware of. Sometimes, our personalities are very ambiverted or introverts. And so what ends up happening is that we have so many things going on that we forget that we're helping people ultimately that happen to have this entity tied to them that is a business. And of course, we're helping the business, but we're helping it through the people. right? So maintaining communication through those consistent check-ins is important. Addressing concerns promptly is going to be super important. Guiding relationships towards what's most beneficial and enhancing those relationships so you can win more together is really what you want to do. And that's how you're going to save a little bit more time. But okay, but let's talk a little bit more. How can I save more time? Well, you can enhance those, relationships, of course. You can have tailored solutions for those clients. You can improve satisfaction and provide a personalized service with all those people. So personalized services and personalized communication. That's kind of the key here. Understanding your client needs, concerns, and perspectives gives you the opportunity to provide the best possible support for them. Nobody should understand your clients better than you. And that is why you have the chance to provide the best possible service for them. Tailor your communication to be, to each client, address the problems more efficiently, win more, help teach your team to do that with the clients that maybe the client files that they're dealing with. I know it's tough. It's tough because you're putting trust into something else you can't control. I get it. But if you're able to work that out, you're going to see yourself scale and be able to relinquish more so that you can actually have more time back for yourself. As well, implement continuous improvement. This is yeah, this is something that is a tough pill to swallow. When we talk to accounting professionals, specifically bookkeepers, and we talk about topics like leadership or kind of like being a go-to person in their firm for staff members, being a meaningful specific, not a wandering generality. What we talk about is you're going to need to be able to take some feedback and get really good at the things that you need to get good at, and not enough. Enough's not enough. You need to be the best at what you're doing because ultimately, we as bookkeepers need to take care of our own account and our own books. And if we're doing that, what does that mean? It means that we build relationships and build your practice just as much as you're building your team and building your clients and helping them. The trickle-down benefits here, right? Take advantage of the client feedback that you have. Measure client satisfaction over time. Relate client satisfaction to growth and revenue. Put yourself in a situation. If you're never growing, you're never getting any type of feedback, how many people love that? Everybody loves it when there's no news is good news. But the problem is this: no news doesn't allow us to grow. And no news for some people means they're not happy, right? We either get ready to, what's the responses, right? What's the fight or flight or clam up? Fight or flight or clam up. So people are ready to talk to you, tell you what's going on, what's wrong. Some people are also ready to run away from their problems, and some people are just shut, they just clam up. They're quiet. How can we help our clients out better? And part of it is taking some ownership and accountability in ourselves and our practices and what we do and what are the skill sets that we have so we can have that better continuous improvement. And guess what? People love the vulnerability and people love that you're taking accountability and they trust you more. Also, how about time-saving tools? Right? I want to show you guys a quick demo here. I want to go to the tool really quickly, and then I'll be able to show you how to kind of painlessly run some payroll, see some things that I was talking about that some specific apps should be able to do for you. Real-time compliance and updates, of course, is some of the things that we'll highlight, as well as reduce errors by about 90% in comparison to manual pay runs. Right? So I'm going to shift over right now. So bear with me for a moment to my demo. Can you guys see my screen? I've just shifted over. I just want to make sure we get a yes. Maybe give me a yes in the Q&A chat. All right, people can see our screen. So we're going to go ahead and log in. And when we log in, we're going to see, this is of course, a demo account that I've selected, for ourselves. Our team had created it a little while ago. Basically, this is our dashboard where you can have multiple clients, of course, and you can add different clients, different companies, of course. We're going to go into our Evolve platform, which is where you can manage clients. This is for our accounting professionals, for bookkeepers, CPAs, and such. And this is our dashboard. It's actually really cool. You'll be able to see all your client lists here. So because this is a test account, you're only going to see things like our just 3 clients that we've put in there. Good old Wayne Enterprises with Bruce Wayne there. Notice his email says, "I'm not Batman" at wayneenterprises.com. Good old grocer, Farm Boy. And then we also have just client 1, They're called client one. And so we have a bunch. But on this dashboard, it's funny. You'll be able to see a bunch of stuff, things like usage reports, what was the last pay run that they sent, getting some real good visibility on some of the transactions that are happening. The audit log of, when and who logged in, whether it be the firm owner or maybe a firm, let's say, for example, staff member. Here's that tax filing section that I talked about, and I'll go deeper into it a little bit later. We may not be able to do it because, of course, we're not at year end right now, but you'll be able to have a screen here where you see your clients and all the T4s or T4As or RL1s they need to complete for T4 time, and it'll tell us if it's been auto submitted or if it's been manually submitted or if it was again online submitted already. And there's a ton of stuff that you can see as well, support tickets for our clients, as well as things like, here, let's take a look here at our feedback, our product feedback. So let's take a look here. Will you be able to see it? Let's take a look at them all, filtered by improvements. Yeah, you'll be able to product feedback and improvements and features and things of that nature. You'll be able to see all of that. So people ask me, oh, where can I add an actual employee of mine? I'm going to go to the settings section and add invite a user. Right, we're going to invite a user. Who are we going to invite? We're going to invite our good old friend, Mr. Sam Vasa. He's our CEO, right? Oh, his email is sam@paymentevolution.com if we wanted to. sam@evolution.com. Perfect. His name is Mr. Sam Vasa. He's our, again, CEO here at Payment Evolution. And we are going to put him in as a firm employee. And we're going to put today's date because we want to make sure he has access today if he was a firm employee of ours and save it. And it's as simple as that. I'll be able to give them either access to everything or have specific access to specific clients, right? So we have separation and delegation of duties here. We're going to give them access to everything right now because we only have those 3 clients, but there it is. Please select the permission. Oh, here it goes. We'll do the manager bits. There we go. Perfect. We'll be able to save it and actually have that user be successfully invited. It's very simple. Okay. The next thing I want to do, let's actually go back to our client list. Let's go into the payroll of some of our clients here. Actually, even better, if I'm gonna move back out in here, and I'm going to click on the client specifically. It'll give me some details about them. I'll have the ability of seeing past pay runs, an audit log of that specific account, as well as being able to manage employees, run payroll, pay an invoice, because we have business payment capabilities here at Payment Evolution, as well as manage some add-ons, get some benefits and view some reports. I'm going to go ahead and click on manage add-ons because this is typically the second thing that most accounting professionals, especially bookkeepers, want to know is who do we integrate with to see if it's viable to work alongside their tech stack. And so, of course, we do integrate with QuickBooks Online. We also integrate with Cashew, Xero. We also have a simple integration with QuickBooks Desktop still. It's still active, as well as FreshBooks. We still have the old Sage 1 integration, but it's now called Sage Business Cloud Accounting. So it's one that is been included because some other people have been using it. And people will say, hey, why do you have 2 FreshBooks? Well, one is the FreshBooks Classic, and one is their double entry accounting software, the new FreshBooks accounting software. So we integrate with both of them as well. So there's a handful of tools that you can use, but of course the biggest ones are Intuit's QuickBooks Online as well as Xero, of course. Cool. So you'll be able to enable right here. So if we were to click on QuickBooks Online, if we wanted to disconnect it or connect it, we could connect it right here, and it'll take us to the actual Intuit website to sign into your specific accounting software. Same thing for Xero, same thing for FreshBooks, same thing for Sage, you name it. All right. So we're going to get back. Let's go back. And let's talk about the third thing that people typically want to talk to me about. Number one is if we ever go to employees, we're going to run a payroll soon, but what I want to show you is we have 5 employees right now. We have Allison Automotive, we have Tim Timbers, we have Sam Syrup, we have Olive Oil, and we have Lucky Lumber. And one of the things that people I mentioned earlier is about leveraging AI. Here's something that's really cool. I'm going to click on these little ellipses at the bottom here for Miss Lucy Lumber, and I'm going to click on Start Offboarding. And when I click on Stop Offboarding, it's going to ask me, hey, do I want to create a record of employment? It doesn't allow me to generate something yet, but it's asking me to begin that offboarding section right now. And basically, it's telling me I need to select a date and provide a reason for the termination, and the offboarding assistance will be recommended when required. And I run it to stay compliant when prompted. Now, people are asking me, like, well, what's this all about? Well, this is a tool that leverages AI. And what it is it's helping employers know when they should be paying out their terminations. And of course, if an employee is quitting, likely this is not going to be something that is recommended because there's no necessary amount for payout. But if you have a reason for issuing an ROE and it is going to recommend you here offboarding assistant, it'll help you and your employer know what they possibly should pay out to this employee to avoid any litigation or prosecuting, staying out of jail per se, when they if they ever take you to what's is it labor? Is it the labor board or is it labor court or something like that to make sure that you can not have to you can remain compliant, of course. But if I click on this and I say shortage of work, it's going to tell me here, hey, here's the average wage that they have, the average the termination date, the hire date, of course, and it's going to say you're about to terminate Lucy Lumber, who's eligible for termination compensation as per the Employment Standards Act. Run the offboarding assistant to stay compliant. And some people say, "Oh, wow, can you do this? Can you run it? It'll be accurate." Yes, absolutely, it'll be accurate. And what'll end up happening is it will allow us to run it, and it'll allow us to tell us what do we need to do? It's going to ask us some questions, of course. What was the hire date? What was the termination date? And they want to kind of ask some specific things. When did you give the termination notice to the employee? So it'll give you an array of questions, but it'll allow you to stay compliant just in case. And this is awesome for maybe not for accounting professionals necessarily or bookkeepers, but if you don't know the Employment Standards Act, it's going to be important for you to be able to provide it for your client. We're providing you that knowledge. Some other firms have a dedicated HR specialist as well as payroll specialist that they may be leveraging that maybe know this information. But for smaller firms, this could be a real good tool to help your client be more compliant. There is a cost attributed to this, but it's nowhere near the hundreds of dollars that you'd pay for an employment lawyer. So really interesting stuff that we're leveraging here at Payment Evolution. Here's a good way for you to be able to do it. There's a bit of a disclaimer, making sure how much it costs and things of that nature. But, we want to acknowledge some of this stuff so that you can move it forward. And then it'll give us the ability to collect that employee data, optimizing the notification period and validating any against employment legislation. And it's going to tell us. So it tells me here fees will apply. Yes, there is a cost to it. For those who are interested, we're happy to give you a demo and actually show you the tool itself and letting you know what it all costs, because it's going to be partially included into an accountant or partner program pricing for our bookkeepers and accountants. But it'll let us know that pay in lieu of notice, it should be about $700, $800 gross. So there should be something. So this is really cool stuff. We're leveraging AI so that it can be helpful. You can keep this as a PDF, and then you can leverage it for yourself and kind of file it away for your client, and their client can have it as well. And you can also make a comment where you can talk to an HX specialist. Well, all that is an HR specialist, human experience specialist, where they can actually provide you some great insight into if you really need to. Right? Perfect. All right. So here comes the important stuff. Reports. Let's say, let's go to actions actually. So actions, year end. People say, how easy can we do a year end? We can do them pretty easy. It's not time for it now. So it's going to tell us, there it is. Year-end tax preparation will be available at the end of the calendar year of 2024. Okay, so it's not going to allow me to do anything right now because we don't want to do anything that's incorrect, but it allows us to see and review the year-to-date summary and also generate those T4s, T4As, RL1s as well right here, all inclusive to the cost of the service. All right, so here comes the special thing that we got to talk about now is running payroll. How fast can we run payroll? Well, if we want to run payroll, all we got to do is click on Run Payroll. We got to select our cycle. It's bi-weekly. It's a regular run. We're going to go ahead and click Submit. And we're going to have all of our team members here. All of our team members that worked that past week. And we're going to approve them all so that we can actually move them all forward because they're all salary-based. If they're all time-based, it'll show in the next page. Let's go ahead and click Next. In this case, we don't have any time-based employees. That's perfect. We're going to go ahead and click calculate just by hitting next. And then it's going to ask me, do I want to calculate the payroll using your company default? Of course I do. Yes. And it's going to process the payroll all according to everything, fully compliant across all 10 provinces and territories. We want to make sure that we have everything capable. You can dig into this and see the journal exported into a CSV, all that jazz, and you can see what the pay run looks like. And if everything is perfect and the right deductions are there, you go to the next step and go to the payments page so you can actually pay them all. So here's the payment dates. In this case, we want to set them to check because we don't have direct deposit set up on our test account, but you could easily set them up for direct deposit because when they are, you put their bank information in and they'll be able to receive a direct deposit through us. And it'll tell you everything: gross wages, your net, your employee deductions, the statutory deductions, of course, the employer contributions, EI, CPP, and the total pay run cost. And if any of the fees that it's going to cost you, as a firm, if you're running it for your clients, it'll tell you there. It'll also tell you for your clients. We actually give a discount to our accounting professionals. So FYI, we do give a wholesale cost to our partners who are bookkeepers and accountants. So leverage us. You take a look. Maybe we might be right up your alleyway to help you out with some of that. But right then and there, I can actually finish that pay run. And then, do I want to authorize a pay run? Yeah, absolutely. When I want to send my employees a notification pay slips? Absolutely. And then boom shakalaka, you have your pay run completed. Team, I don't know about you, but that was pretty quick. Being able to get all that stuff done. So not only were we able to log in, run payroll, do the offboarding assistance, we can check the year-end reports. We showed you the Evolve dashboard, added multiple users. There's things that you can do here that can really be helpful, and you need your solution. Doesn't matter if it's us or anybody else or any of our competitors. Doesn't matter. You need to have the options that have the ability of making it really easy for you to run your practice, help your clients, and make them feel like you care, because you do. And then not only do you care, you help them, and you guys both benefit from it. All right, so let's get back to the webinar, shall we? So after doing that quick demo, let's recap some takeaways here. We want to save you time and your practice. That's number one. Number two, we see the trickle-down benefits and how it's going to help you, the firm, your employees, the clients, and their employees. And hopefully using tools that are helpful for you with regards to payroll client management, as we talked about throughout the webinar, you can really win more. Win more to help people, right? And then the more you help people, the more you can actually get what you want, right? There's an old saying, you can get exactly everything that you want as long as you help other people get what they want. And this is a great way of doing that and making them feel great and heard and helped. All right, everybody. Well, that's it for us. Thank you very much. We'll send out a post-survey and event survey in the next little bit. We hope that you had as much fun being here, learning stuff with us as we loved sharing that information with you. If you have any questions, we're sticking around for the next little bit. But if you got to go, thank you for taking the time and spending it here with us. And we hope that we'll see you on this flip side. If you're interested in learning more about us, that's great. We will be at the next CPB Ignite conference as well, out in Winnipeg. And on top of that, if you want to give us a call, you can call our team members here, myself, Gurdeep, Sam, anybody, and we'll be happy to help. We hope that you guys all have a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. Bye.